It's not only the beginning of time in the linear sense, but it's the beginning of all things that begin. This is what happens every time something begins. This is what happens every time something new makes its entry into the world. It's the continual beginning that continually unfolds, that happened and is happening now and will always happen. It's the pattern of the emergence of order out of chaos that makes itself manifest in the form of your life. How is the stage set? The Spirit of God hovers over the water, over the deep. You hear that in the Judeo-Christian tradition, God engenders the world ex nihilo, out of nothing. That's not how the story sets itself up. It sets itself up with the Spirit of God hovering above the waters, but it's not water. That's not the word. Water is one of the symbolic images, attempting to make what's being described clear using a sequence of complex metaphors. The word for the water over which the Spirit of God hovers is Tohu Vabohu, or Tehom, and it means a lot of things. It means the dragon that lives at the bottom of the deepest well. It means the unplumbable depths of the most abysmal ocean. It means the water that brings forth life. It means the infinite well of possibility itself. It means the confusion that reigns when your world falls apart. It means the unstructured day that makes itself manifest when you wake up. It means all of that. It means the dragon that the archaic God sliced into pieces and made the world from. It means it's the Hydra that Hercules defeats to form the world. It's all of that. So what does that mean? It means that the spirit of being and becoming generates the world from possibility. What does that mean? That's what your consciousness does. That's what you do. See, you think you're surrounded by a world of objects that you manipulate in a robotic fashion, but you're not concerned with the objects that are static. You're concerned with what you can dynamically transform. When you wake up in the morning, what presents itself to you is a field of indeterminate opportunity. That's why you're worried, or perhaps excited, because you have something to grapple with that hasn't yet come into being. The possibilities of the day, and you might think, oh my God, I have so many things to do. I'm overwhelmed. It's too much. Well, that's the Tohu Vabohu. That's the chaos and confusion. That's a plethora of possibility. You're thinking, oh my God, how many ways are there for things to go wrong? Well, that's the multi-headed serpent that the hero always confronts. And what do you have to do with that? It's like, well, are you going to establish the order that's good in the course of the day? Because that's what you're called upon to do. And it's your recreation of what God himself does at the beginning of time that constitutes the action of your conscious on the possibility that's in front of you. You have a microcosm of plenitude and possibility right in front of you at any moment that you can wrestle into order if your aim is right. The process that God relies on to extract the cosmos, the order that's good, from the well of unformed possibility is the word. It's the logos. Well, what does that mean? How much hell can you bring into being by saying the wrong words to your wife? Right, now your wife is who she is, but she's also who she could become. as you've no doubt noticed many times. And you can extract out something good or something terrible from the possibility she represents with the cautious and loving application of your words, or with the careful and prideful and dismissive application of your words. And the world you live in will be radically different depending on which of those two approaches you apply. And that will be exactly the same with anyone else you talk to, and how you treat yourself, and how you interact with the world as such. Because there's a provision of possibility that you're offered as a participant in the process of creation that you formulate in accordance with your aim. What's the insistence in Genesis 1? Aim up with love. So if you want to establish the paradise of your household in relationship to your wife and your children, you aim at what's best for the best in them. You offer them the security that you can imagine. That's the walls of the walled garden. And you present to them the challenge that allows them to unfold and develop optimally. And you do that appropriately if you're aiming at what's best, what's highest. And that's the Spirit of God that makes itself manifest on the waters of possibility. That's the embodiment, the source, the initial source, and the spirit of upward aiming ultimate love.
In a study on human cognition and creativity, researchers found that the human brain is constantly adapting and reshaping its perceptions of the world, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. This dynamic ability to create order from mental chaos is a hallmark of human creativity and problem solving. According to studies from the journal Frontiers in Psychology, individuals are more likely to experience creative breakthroughs when they engage with complex, ambiguous, or chaotic situations, just as Jordan Peterson alludes to in his exploration of order emerging from chaos. This parallels how consciousness interacts with uncertainty and creates new possibilities, a key element in personal growth and transformation. Philosophically, Peterson's reflection on chaos, order, and creation echoes Friedrich Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch, the idea that humans have the capacity to transcend their limitations and shape their own reality. In Nietzschean thought, the Übermensch is someone who confronts the inherent chaos of existence, not by shrinking away from it, but by courageously forging new paths and creating meaning through their will. This parallels Peterson's idea of the individual taking responsibility for their world by establishing order from chaos, whether in the context of daily life or long-term existential purpose. Peterson's insight into how order emerges from chaos goes beyond the surface of everyday life and taps into the core of human existence. He uses biblical metaphors to explain how individuals have the ability to confront confusion and disorder, represented by Tohu Vabohu, and shape their environment through their actions and words. This idea that we are co-creators of our reality is central to his philosophy, making the comparison between God creating the world from chaos and humans creating their lives from uncertainty a profound observation. When Peterson speaks of the Spirit of God hovering over the waters, he's describing an ancient concept of the infinite potential that exists in chaotic beginnings, a potential that is ready to be shaped. His use of the Hebrew term Tohu Vabohu to describe the initial state of confusion is deeply symbolic. In life, we encounter this chaos every morning when we wake up, faced with the uncertainties and possibilities of the day ahead. We confront our own multi-headed serpents, whether they are overwhelming tasks, difficult relationships, or internal struggles. Peterson highlights the crucial role of consciousness in not merely surviving these moments, but actively transforming them into order and meaning. The essence of Peterson's message is empowerment. He emphasizes the importance of deliberate action, of aiming with care, particularly through language. Words are not passive. They are tools of creation or destruction. The idea that you can either build something beautiful or bring forth chaos through your words, whether in a relationship or broader context, underscores the responsibility we hold. This echoes the power of the logos, which in Greek philosophy refers to reason and speech as the means through which the cosmos is structured. Peterson connects this ancient idea with modern psychological insights, pointing out that our consciousness and our words shape our lived reality in the same way. What is most compelling is how Peterson shifts the focus from external forces to the power within the individual. This is a call to personal responsibility. You are not a victim of chaos, but rather an agent with the capacity to create. The emphasis on aiming up with love highlights that creation is not just a technical act, but one grounded in ethical responsibility. The aim is to bring forth good, not just for oneself, but for others, whether it's within the family or society at large. The idea that we must aim for the highest in ourselves and others, just as God's Spirit aimed to create order from the chaotic waters, places immense weight on our actions, intentions, and relationships. Peterson's commentary is a reminder that chaos, far from being an enemy, is the fertile ground from which all growth springs. The hero in this narrative is not the one who avoids chaos, but the one who confronts it, with the right aim shaping it into order. In life, this translates into navigating uncertainty and complexity with purpose and responsibility, striving for what is highest and best in every situation. In sum, Peterson is challenging us to recognize that we are co-creators of our world. Each day brings with it a field of indeterminate opportunity, and how we engage with this chaos, whether with precision and love or carelessness and pride, determines the quality of our lives and relationships. This insight places a significant ethical burden on our choices, reminding us that the process of creation, whether divine or human, is always ongoing. The world we inhabit is a reflection of our own actions, and as Peterson points out, it is in aiming upward, in striving toward love and order, that we fulfill our role in this grand narrative of creation. Let me know what you think about all of this.